What have I done? I am doomed. Where will I start from? I left my successful sewing business in the village to come here for a better life, and this is what I get. She went back to Nelo's apartment and cried out her eyes. Soon it was night and Nelo returned. Immediately Nelo returned, Norma fumed at her and asked her why she had lied to her. Once upon a time, there lived a young girl named Norma. She was the first child of her parents. She lives with her father and 3 of her other siblings. Her father is a widower. He lost his wife to the cold hands of death after a mysterious illness. Norma, due to her father's inability to further her education, dropped out of school. She became an apprentice to one of the popular seamstresses in their village. Norma made sure she learned everything she needed to learn to become a better professional seamstress also. Soon, Norma became an expert. She was so good that everyone in the village wanted her to be their personal tailor. Norma opened up her own sewing business in the village market, where she sews and also sells beautiful African fabrics. Norma's nibbled fingers and keen eyes were a testament to her craft. Her work of vibrant colors and patterns. She became the best far and near. Even the rich comes to her to get the most beautiful dress sewn by her. Norma was doing so well and made a lot of money from her business. Norma became the primary breadwinner for her father and younger siblings. She made sure they had enough food to eat and supported her younger siblings in their education, and this made her father Mazi Anayo very happy. He was so proud of his daughter. He would praise her and call her beautiful names, telling Norma that God blessed him with one of the most hardworking daughters. Norma continued to thrive in her sewing business and saved a lot of money from it. One day, while Norma was in her shop sewing, a car parked in front of her shop. Norma was wondering who the person was. She was so happy that a customer was coming to patronize her. When the car door opened, it was her childhood friend Nelo, who had left for the city 3 years ago. Norma screamed with joy as she ran out to hug her. They were so happy to see each other. Norma was surprised to see Nelo driving a flashy car. She asked her how she was doing. Nelo replied and told Norma that she was doing okay. That she heard about her from her mother, who told her she was now one of the most popular and professional seamstresses in their village. Nelo was so surprised to see Norma's shop that was filled with so many beautiful designs of fabric. She then told Norma if she was interested in coming to the city with her, but Norma replied, telling her that she can't leave her father and younger siblings since she was the one taking care of them. Nelo then turned to Norma and said to her, "Norma, my friend, you are very talented with your hands. Come to the city with me and see how much money you will make. I work in a fabric company that designs African fabric. I can talk to my boss to employ you. You can come and be one of our designers. And moreover, who knows? You might save up enough money to further your education and that of your siblings." Norma then told Nelo that she was making enough money in the village and doing well. Nelo replied her and said she was just trying to help her, that she should think about it and let her know if she still wants to come to the city with her. When Nelo had left, Norma was filled with thoughts. She was pondering on whether to listen to Nelo or just remain in the village and continue her business. When Norma went back home, she talked to her father about it, that her childhood friend visited her today in her shop and told her about the juicy opportunities in the city, and she has finally decided to go with her after thinking it through. Her father Mazi Anayo looked at her and said, "Why the sudden change of mind to leave for the city? But Norma, you are really doing well here. I don't see any reason why you should go to the city when you are doing well for yourself." then said to her father, "Papa, I know I am doing well here, but with the opportunities in the city, I believe I will even do much more better. And moreover, Nelo has promised to introduce me to her boss, who will employ me to be a fabric designer in their company where she works. Papa, I want to go and make a lot of money, so I can take care of you and my siblings. And who knows, I must even further my education." Mazianayo then said to Noma, "I have talked to you and advised you how a caring father would to his daughter. You can do whatever you wish to do, but do not say I did not warn you. I honestly do not want you to go with that girl. You don't even know her well. How sure are you she's saying the truth about working with a fabric company?" Noma smiled and said to her father that Nello was her childhood friend and meant no harm. The next week, Noma went to her shop and sold everything in it, including her new sewing machine she had bought lately. She bid her father and younger siblings farewell and left for the city with Nello. When they arrived at Nello's house, Noma was surprised to see how big and beautiful Nello's apartment was. She asked Nello how she saved a lot of money to furnish her apartment in a luxurious way. Nello then said to Noma that it was her company that pays her very well, and that from it she saved a lot of money to furnish her apartment. Noma was so happy that finally she was in the city. She already planned how she would save a lot of money and send back to her father and siblings in the village. That same evening, Nello took Noma for a ride, showing her around the city. Noma was fascinated of how beautiful everywhere was. Everywhere was filled with liveliness. The next morning, when Nello was preparing for work, Noma reminded her to talk to her boss at work so she can start work immediately. Nello smiled and told Noma not to worry, that she would start work soon. After some days, Noma was still at home. Anytime she asked Nello about when her boss would be employing her, she would reply saying that very soon she would be called for an interview. Soon, days began to turn into weeks. Noma was becoming tired of staying at home. Sometimes, Nello would leave without keeping any food for Noma. It was the money Noma brought from the village with her she uses to buy what to eat. Noma kept on disturbing Nello when she started the job. But Nello would always tell her to calm down, that very soon she would be called for an interview. Little did she know that Nello had no plans for her, that everything she had promised her about looking for a job for her in their company was all a lie. Nello was never working in a fabric company. In fact, Nello was a waitress in a restaurant. Anytime she goes out in the morning, she would always dress as a person working a 9-to-5 job while carrying her waitress clothes in her bag to change in the streets. She was jealous of Noma's success and decided to ruin her life by making her sell all her expensive sewing machine and closing down her fabric shop in the village to bring her to the city and make her stranded. The car Nello had brought to the village was a hired car and not hers. The money she had used to furnish her apartment was the money she stole from her previous employer and ran away to another city. Noma started becoming tired of staying at home doing nothing. She then decided to look for a job herself. One day, when Nello dressed for work as usual and left, Noma also dressed up to job hunt also. When she was walking down the street, to her greatest surprise, she saw Nello changing into another dress. She was confused and wanted to call out her name, but on a second thought, she decided to stay silent and watch what she was doing. She silently followed Nello behind until they got to a restaurant and Nello entered there. That was how Noma discovered that everything Nello had told her was a lie. Noma's world shattered. She was so confused and scared. She cried bitterly and said to herself, "What have I done? I am doomed. Where will I start from? I left my successful sewing business in the village to come here for a better life, and this is what I get." She went back to Nelo's apartment and cried out her eyes. Soon it was night and Nelo returned. Immediately Nelo returned, Norma fumed at her and asked her why she had lied to her. Nelo, not knowing that she has been caught, was still acting confused until Norma then told her she saw her in a restaurant working and not in a fabric company as she claimed. Norma laughed so hard and sat down. She said to Norma, "Oh, is that why you are mad? Raise your voice one more time at me and you are leaving this house this night. If I work in a restaurant, and so what? What is wrong with working at a restaurant?" Norma replied with anger in her voice. "But you said you were working at a company and you would get a job for me. Why did you lie to me and make me close down my shop and sold everything I worked hard for?" Nelo laughed at her and told her she was jealous of her. That was why she decided to ruin her life. Norma rushed at Nelo and they began to fight. At the process of them fighting, there was a knife on the chair. Norma then used it to stab Nelo on the back. When Nelo fell to the ground and was bleeding, Norma dropped the knife and was shaking. She was so scared on what to do. She ran away from the apartment. As she was running in the street, she was hit by a car. She fell to the ground and became unconscious. After some minutes, she heard her father calling her name. She was surprised how her father got to find her in the city. When Norma opened her eyes, she saw her father sitting beside her on her bed in the room in the village. He said to her, "I've been calling your name, but you were not answering. Are you not going to your shop today?" Norma looked around and realized it was all a dream. She was dreaming throughout the night. Everything that had happened all happened in her dream. She hurriedly went outside and saw her father and siblings. She hugged them so tight, telling them how much she loved them. Her father was confused on why she was acting so clingy that morning. Norma then dressed up and went to her shop. She was so happy that her shop was still there and she never sold anything. That same day, while she was sewing, her old childhood friend Nelo visited her with the same car that she had saw in the dream. She was surprised to see her because that was exactly what she had saw in her dream the previous night. Nelo offered to find her a job in the city, but Norma smiled and declined, saying she was not interested. And that was how Norma saw what was going to happen to her in the future and saved herself from Nelo's evil plan. The lesson of this story is that while it is important to strive better, it's equally important to appreciate what we already have. I hope you enjoyed the story. Thanks for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe. Thanks for stopping by. Bye.